Welcome back to Cosmoholics. Welcome back to Cosmoholics Anonymous. I am your favorite girl, but vintage. There's a whole bunch of shit in my teeth because I just finished eating a Haagen-Dazs ice cream. And this is a Botox. This is the last Botox of the year, and hopefully it won't be filled with a bunch of fuckboy stories. Okay, that's not how we're gonna end the year off with Botox. We're gonna end the year off right. My mother was supposed to be in this video, but she's extremely busy right now and she can't be, so I'm here alone. I asked Shooter to come, but Shooter is drunk because his birthday is right now. You guys, when you're watching this video, it'll be Shooter's birthday, so make sure you guys go to his Instagram when Shooter's in town and tell him happy birthday and wish him all the best in the new year, okay? So I've been with this guy for a year. We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. I'm 19, he is 20. So here's my issue. I don't feel like he's trying hard enough to match my efforts. By that I mean in terms of being thoughtful, considerate when giving gifts, or making me feel special on special occasions. Nobody is sending him to go broke his pockets buying expensive ass gifts, but I don't feel like he tries hard enough. For our anniversary, he waited until the last possible minute to buy my gift, knowing getting it to where we are, Jamaica, would be a hassle. He knew from when he ordered whatever that it would be late. I think the least he could have done, since he knew it would be late, was do something cute or whatever, which would cost him literally nothing to make me feel special. Even now, a week later, I still haven't gotten a gift or any special sentiment. This is just like Valentine's Day, when he didn't get me anything, and then when we went to the supermarket and I was going to buy myself wine, he volunteered and felt as if that was a substantial gift. That is thoughtless. Those are the things I'm talking about when I say that. It doesn't make me feel special. It doesn't make me feel like he really considers me. It's just like some last minute preparation. I am literally here begging this guy for some romantic gestures. It is really sad. I mentioned how I'm feeling and his response is, I'm forcing you to be something you're not. I think she means, his response was that she's forcing him to be something he's not, so he's not romantic. You don't have to be romantic to do something romantic for the person that you love. Just saying. But let me continue. All he's concerned with is me belittling his efforts, but let's be honest, he always waits until the absolute last possible minute, and I don't feel that is him putting out his max efforts. I feel like if I can get it done, there's no reason he shouldn't be able to do the same, and that's what I mean to say I feel like he honestly doesn't try. Other than the one issue I described, he's pretty great. XOXO. Some men truly don't understand what it is to be romantic, but if you express to him what exactly you want and he's still not delivering that, then you have to decide whether or not you want to stay with this person, because if he's showing you this on more than one occasion, chances are it will continue throughout your relationship and he won't improve. If he's already telling you that you can't change him, which is true, you cannot change a man will change for you if he feels like he needs to, then you can't really push that on him to be chivalrous and be romantic and be the man that you need him to be. There does come a time when you have to just stiffen up and just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to move on because I know what I deserve and you're not giving me what I deserve. And if it's at that point when you have that conversation with him that he'll decide if he wants to change or not. And if he doesn't, then you're free to go. Like, there's no point to stick around and wait for him to try to figure it out. If you've already expressed on more than one occasion that he's not doing enough and he's not doing anything to fix that, then you already know what you need to do. Or if the person that you're with is not fulfilling that need for you, then it's best that you just move on. You're saying that it's only this one thing in particular that bugs you about him. So in actuality, what you have to do is measure all the good and bad, and if the good outweighs the bad, then I mean, you just have to accept it. And if you really truly love him, then you'll just learn to live with the fact that he's not romantic, but you're going to end up feeling like you're settling, and that's never a good feeling. Think about if you're willing to sacrifice your happiness, and if you are a romantic and the person you're with is not a romantic, think about if you're willing to sacrifice that part of your life. If you are, then your relationship will work out, but if you're not, it will never ever work out and it'll always be an argument. I I'm not the type of person that is big on anniversaries. Like, me and Shooter don't do anything special for our anniversary. That's not how I am. So it's not a big deal to me. I don't need him to buy me flowers. Like, we do stuff throughout the entire year. So it's just like, nothing is, you know, I think when we get married, that's when we'll celebrate an anniversary. But as of right now, just being in a relationship, like, we don't celebrate anniversaries every year. And also, like, we don't do anything super special on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, I don't get him anything. He'll probably buy me like something from Sephora or MAC, but that's about it. Like, we don't go out of our way, and we might go to dinner, but like, there's nothing that we do that's out of the way. I honestly feel like those things are a little extra, so I'm not that romantic myself, but I totally understand a lot of women are. And if you need your partner to be romantic, then that's what you need, you know what I mean? You can't just settle for less. So it's really entirely up to you. As I always say, like, whatever the advice I give you, it's always up to you guys to choose what you want to do. But at the end of the day, don't ever settle. Like, settling is never, ever, ever a good thing to do, because you're going to kick yourself in the ass for it later. So, well, I'm writing to you because I feel like I don't really have anyone else to open up to. Also, going to let you know that this story might be all over the place. My whole life, my father has been involved in drugs and alcohol to the point where it's almost taken his life on several occasions. My family has been through it all. From I was at least 6 or 7 years old, I knew what my dad was doing. A week would go by and I would only see him 3 or 4 times. And mind you, we lived in the same house with my mother and 3 younger brothers. I always hated my dad ever since I can remember, and a part of me hated my mom for staying with him and putting our family through all that we'd had to deal with. My mom has been abused physically and verbally, saved my dad's life, done anything and everything for this man who just doesn't give one fuck. And I could never understand why she stayed with him. Don't get me wrong, my dad is a cool person, but that's all he is. To me, that is not someone I want to call my father, because all he has done for me is give me a place to live. But anyways, fast forward to now. I'm going to skip a lot of details because this email would be entirely too long, lol. But my dad has been doing drugs again. My mom has even found physical evidence, and she still chooses to stay with him and keep getting abused. And whenever I try to come in between them, my dad talks down on me, calls me a bitch, saying I'm a scumbag and everything else you can think of. And then I get kicked out and forced to stay with my boyfriend because I have no other place to go. And I was miserable when I was at my boyfriend's house. I miss my mom and my brothers so much, and I'm only 20 years old. I don't want to be living with my boyfriend. I haven't even gone to college yet or done anything to put me in a position where I'm okay to be living away from home. But basically, I just am asking for advice. What would you do if you were in my situation? What should I do to help get my mother and brother away from my dad? It sucks because my mom continues to let herself go through this. I'll be damned if my husband is even half as bad as a person as my father is. I'll be out in 2.2. What the fuck? I don't know what that means, but okay. No matter what I tell my mom, she will never end up leaving my dad. It broke my heart when I came back home too, because my parents were talking like everything was fine. And I've even told my mom I can get another job and we can move out and she can get child support for my younger brothers. But it's like she likes to be treated that way, as fucked up as that sounds. What do you think I can do to get my dad out of our lives? I have nowhere to turn. Love you and hope you can give me some answers. Okay. This is this is a really sensitive subject, and it's hard for me to say what exactly I would do, because honestly, in a situation like this, you don't know exactly what you would do until you are in those actual shoes. You've given me the scenario and I'm able to look at it from my point of view as an outsider looking in, but for me to physically put myself in your shoes, I feel like it's unrealistic. So what I'm going to say is that with your mom, she's a grown-ass woman, and you can't try to pressure her, or you can't cuss her out. You can't tell her what you think that she needs to do, or you can't, like, you know, if she doesn't want to listen to you, if she wants to be stubborn and stay with your father, then that's what she's going to do. You can't really force that on her. You said you don't feel as though you're in a position to move out. You haven't even gone to school yet, which puts you, like, you're basically between a rock and a hard place, because you want to get away from your dad, but you don't have enough money to do that, especially not on your own. And that is probably a part of the reason why you wouldn't just leave your brothers, because you love them as well as your mom. You want everybody to move out of that situation. I know that you don't want to call CPS because that's probably the worst thing that you could do in this situation, just because it may tear your family apart entirely. Though you are of age to take care of your younger brothers, you don't have enough money to do that. So it was not like they would end up with you in the first place. I think the only thing you can do is worry about yourself. And I know it sounds selfish, but at the end of the day, it's like, you don't have to be in that situation if you don't want to be. Clearly your mom wants to be in the situation. I know that hurts to hear, but even if she doesn't want to be in the situation, she's not doing anything to change the situation, despite the fact that you're advising her to, despite the fact that you're trying to get her to move out. It's selfish on your mom's part, and it's unfair to your baby brothers that they have to be in that situation, that they have to see your dad being abusive towards your mom. It's rude. It's disgusting how your father treats you when you're just trying to be the middle person or the mediator and, you know, get him to stop abusing your mother. I think that you need to find it in your heart to forgive your dad, despite the fact that this stuff is still going on. But at the same time, try to work on getting yourself out of the situation. And I know it's going to hurt to leave your brothers, but I feel like if you do get a second job and you do start working a lot harder and bringing in more money and just stacking it up and acting like you're broke, honestly, if you have to live off ramen noodles, do that. Just stack enough money so that you can start to think about moving out and getting your own place, or like be able to get subsidized housing, like government housing, because you're in a really fucked up situation. So try to start making moves to get out, and bring your brothers when you can. Bring your mom when you can. You know what I mean? But if your mom wants to stay with your dad and continue to take the abuse, there's nothing you can do about that. A lot of women, and I'm not saying this is your mom, I'm just saying a lot of women that are in abusive situations would prefer to be abused than to be single. And it sucks, but that's the reality of it. A lot of women choose their man over their kids and over their friends and over everyone else that genuinely cares about them when they're in an abusive relationship. So I think that your main focus right now is getting yourself out of the situation, and then seeing how you can get your brothers over to wherever you get to move to. You probably feel like you're burdening your boyfriend with the situation, but he's probably very understanding of that, so I don't think you should think too much about that. There's honestly nothing you can do if you're getting kicked out on a regular basis. You need to have your own place. So just continue to work hard, and if you have to call CPS, then that's what you need to do, because if your father is using drugs in your house, that means that it's around your family, that means it's around your brothers and your mom, and he's putting them at risk. You can tell your mom that that's what you plan to do. Tell her that you're going to call CPS if that's the case, and see if that's a wake-up call to her. Or let CPS come and let it be a wake-up call to her. But you have to be really careful with CPS, because you really don't want, I'm sure you don't want your brothers to be thrown into foster care or group homes, and then, you know, they get separated. You don't want that problem. So I think you just need to work on you first and see how you can incorporate everybody else into that. I'm currently watching the latest BOETALKS, so pissed. All of these trials seem so trivial compared to mine. This email will be a little lengthy, but I promise you I actually need good, genuine advice. My name is Vivi, and I'm 16 years old. I'm from the south side of Chicago, which you may know to be an extremely dangerous place. I have 12 siblings, me being maybe the 5th or 6th oldest. My father is an alcoholic with a failing liver, and my mom works nights and days 24/7, 2 jobs, one at McDonald's and the other at a gas station, to pay for his hospitalization. I don't know why she is so adamant on helping him, since he beat us relentlessly for years, and even beat my older brother one day so hard that he ripped half of his ear off, and it's still gone. Wow. All of my siblings and I work to provide for rent and food, since we no longer qualify for Section 8. I go to school from 7 to 3 every day, then I'm stuck at work from 3:30 to 10, and I also work Saturdays and Sundays from morning till late evening. You're only 16? I can't even deal. I'm so stressed out. I think about just ending life every day since I'm failing out of school. I have no time to do homework and I fall asleep in class since I'm so tired. Social services always visits my house to check up on my little siblings. My baby sister is only 10 months old and has no one to watch her until I get home from school to see her for those 30 minutes before I go to work. Sometimes my mom takes her and my other toddler sister to work with her. How? We live in a tiny, run-down 3-bedroom house and we all have to share one laptop, which is where I'm typing this from, LOL. 12 siblings, 3 bedrooms, 2 parents. Are you taking this in, you guys? I try to keep the house as spotless as I can, which is hard with so many people living in a tiny space. When I say that life sucks, it really, really does. Like I have no reason to live, and I swear I'm not being the sappy. I cut and I'm gonna end my life. My life is so sad, and it has been for years. I feel numb 24/7, and I never get a moment to relax except for when it's time to go to sleep. And then all my problems rush onto me, and I cry for hours. I never had the opportunity to think about boys or clothes or hair and makeup. And even though I'm interested in all those things, I just don't have the time or money, which is why I turn to YouTube. Some days I feel like getting married to some bum-ass nigga so I can move out. The cycle of poverty from my mother and her mother hasn't broken yet, and I don't think I can break it since I'm failing out of high school. I wish I could escape, but without me, my siblings would starve since no one is watching out for them. Sometimes my older siblings don't even give me the paycheck so I can combine it all in a money order to send to pay the bills. If I break, my family falls apart. Child services will take them away forever, but my problem is that I'm already broken and I can't keep up this facade anymore. I'm at my breaking point. Any advice you can give me will be so gratefully appreciated. By the way, I can't quit my job or work less hours. I had to beg my boss to allow me to work as much as I do. I also don't have enough money to seek therapy or anything else. This story is really speaking to me because I feel that you're in a dark place, and you said more than once that basically you've had enough. You've considered taking your life, but that is never the answer, and so I want you to know that. That doesn't solve anything. Death is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So the first thing that bothers me about this whole entire situation is the fact that there's 12 of you. You have older siblings, and nobody is, or sometimes nobody wants to help you pay the bills. At 16, you shouldn't even be worried about having to pay bills. So I'm extremely confused by that, and I'm irritated because you said that your mom's working 2 jobs 24/7. She works at McDonald's and a gas station, and no disrespect to your mother, but why would she continue to have children with somebody that's abusive, with somebody that's an alcoholic, and your youngest sister is 10 months old, and you guys are living in a 3-bedroom apartment? I don't understand why she would continue to have children with this man. Love or no love. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like something's off there. And at 16 years old, all of this should not be a burden for you. This should never ever be any 16-year-old's issues or problems. You know, everybody writes to me about some crazy shit, but this is not something I would expect from a 16-year-old. And it's really alarming to me, and I just feel like if this is what you feel that you have to deal with, I can only imagine what everybody else in your household is feeling, no matter what their age is. I can only imagine that stress and how frustrating it must be for everybody in that home. Just like the last story, because you guys' stories are very similar. Just like the last person that wrote me, I would definitely suggest that you work on getting yourself out that situation. If you're working right now, stack your money and do anything you think you can do to make money legal, okay? Just let me say that, legal, so that you can get yourself out of the situation. And at this point, the same thing I told her, it may be more sense to call CPS on your house, just because at this point, it's like they may end up somewhere better where they can be taken care of properly, because how many people are sharing a room if it's a 3-bedroom apartment and there's 12 siblings and 2 parents? I'm pretty sure you guys are over capacity at this point, and you should really work on getting yourself and your siblings out of that situation. You alone should not be the one paying the bills. And how this sounds is if you're going to be, if you can't even get the money from your older siblings to pay the bills, and your mom's money is only going to your father's hospitalization, then eventually you guys are going to lose the house anyway, and you're going to be homeless. So it's best that you deal with it now and see how other people can help your family. See how the foster system, which I know it sucks and I know it's horrible, but see if there's some type of way that you can get your family, your siblings, your younger brothers and sisters out of that situation, because this is not healthy. But at the end of the day, at 16, this is not your problem. If your mom wants to take all her money and put it towards your father, then that means that she was never ready to have children to begin with. And if she can't take care of you guys, then somebody else can definitely do it. And that may be the next step that you have to take. Like I said to the last person, it's going to hurt. You're already hurting though. So even if you guys do get separated, at least you'll be placed somewhere where there is love. You know what I mean? This is something that's really hard to deal with. And again, I'm not walking in your shoes. I can't even think to put those shoes on. I can't even imagine what you must feel on a regular basis and what you are going through. It's just really sad, and I'm definitely going to keep you and my last subby in my prayers, because nobody, whether 20, 16, doesn't matter, should have to deal with that. Your fathers, both of you guys, your fathers are extremely selfish in this, and maybe they can't help their addiction, but I feel like once you have children, your children should make you want to change your behavior. But if all they're doing is being abusive towards you guys, it's just like, why the fuck bother? I'm gonna definitely keep you guys in my prayers. I'm sorry if my advice to you isn't what you want to hear, or doesn't help you, but I just want you guys to know that I am definitely here for you in spirit, and I would never ever want you to take your life over something like this, because it is not the end of the world, and you can definitely make it through this. It's just going to be something that helps you grow as a person. You know, you're going to make better decisions than your mother and your father. You're going to make better decisions for your life in the future and for your kids, your future children. You have to break that cycle of poverty. You just said in the email that your mother and your grandmother both have lived basically the same lives. Don't do it. And you should also be encouraging your older siblings to break that cycle as well. You know what I mean? You don't want to end up in the same situation, because a lot of the times they say that you marry your father, and so basically what that means is the person that you end up with ends up being exactly like your father, whether or not you like your father. And so it's important to watch out for that, and you don't want to end up in a situation like your mother or your grandmother. So just hang in there and try to make the best out of the situation. And if you have to take drastic measures, then don't be afraid to do so, because it's better you take the drastic measures and everybody ends up, you know, alive and well, than you not taking the drastic measures and everybody living in a world of hell. I would like to remain anonymous. I'm going to keep this short. So here are the bullet points. Bless your soul, okay? 1. Dating a guy over a year, amazing guy. There are no problems, and I know this is someone I want to marry. He is my first and only boyfriend. I wanted to wait until I was older and be sure that the person is for me. I am 22 and he is 24. If this is your first boyfriend, how you expect things to go, even if it's like super great right now, may not be the case. So I'm gonna keep reading. 2, we haven't had sex. Oh, this is really good. Okay. And he's fine with that. Oh, even better. He is completely fine with waiting. 3, my question is, how long is too long? Is it abnormal to wait more than a year to have sex? Because personally, I don't mind waiting even 3 years. This sounds weird, But I think of the emotional aspects after sex, and I know if something happens to us and we break up, I'll be very, very sad. 5, I am asking this because everyone says a few months in you should be having sex. Who? Okay, and I really don't agree with that. Me either. So I don't know who is saying that horrible shit. I guess my values are different. I don't know. I'm happy the way it is now. We do so much together. He is very adventurous. How long do you think is too long? Okay, so I don't know if you're celibate or a virgin, but don't listen when it comes to your relationship. Don't listen to what anybody has to say about your relationship. If people are telling you that what you're doing is wrong, just because something worked for them doesn't mean it'll work for you. So if what you're doing is working so far and you're liking your relationship the way it is, then don't complicate it with sex. Like, sex is not necessary, especially not in the beginning stages of a relationship. There's no such thing as too long. There's no such thing as not too long. If you feel you are ready to have sex with your significant other, then have sex with him. If you feel that it's not time yet, then wait it out even longer. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go with the ways of the world. You can do whatever the hell you want to do in your relationship, because it's only you and him in the relationship. If he's okay with waiting, if he's not complaining or asking you, you know, so it's been a year, like, when are we going to get to do this? Then don't sweat it. Until you start to see that it may be becoming an issue, then address it then. But until then, you don't need to address it. You can continue to do your relationship how you're doing it. But there is no rule book for how long you should wait before you have sex with whoever you're having sex with. There is absolutely no rule book. If you are happy in your relationship and he's happy in the relationship and he can go on without sex, then that's what it is. You don't have to have sex to keep a man. You know what I mean? So just do what you're doing and don't worry about what anybody else has to say. If you want to have sex with him, then bust it open, okay? In this situation, the only thing I would be concerned about is if he's okay with waiting. Are you guys exclusive? Because if you're not exclusive and he's okay with waiting for you and he's okay with hanging out with you without having sex, does that mean that he's having sex with other people? I don't want to plant a seed in your head. I don't want you to think that way and start to get paranoid about him. But I just want you to make sure that you guys are exclusive and that he's not having sex with anybody else in the time that he's waiting for you, because a lot of men will do that, especially if you guys don't put a label on it just yet. And if he wants to build a future with you and he's just respecting the fact that you don't want to have sex yet and he's just going with the flow with you, then that's awesome too. But he may be out there doing his thing on the side just until he's ready to be exclusive with you and until you're ready to start having sex with him. Not saying that's what he's doing. I'm just letting you know that that could be a possibility if you guys aren't exclusive. And make sure that if you don't want to have sex with him, and you're telling him that and he's okay with it, just make sure you ask him if that's the case, is he going to be having sex with other people, just to let you know. You don't have to like go through his phone and be crazy, but you should know definitely if he is having any type of relationship with anyone outside of you. Hey Bougie, I'm emailing you anonymously. However, I am 20 years of age and 8 months pregnant. My daughter's father and I haven't been together since early in my pregnancy. We were once engaged and looking forward to marriage at the time we became pregnant. Yes, I am young, but our daughter was definitely planned. Our relationship didn't go as planned. I came to find that he was a lying, cheating, jealous-ass bitch boy. And I decided to call off the engagement and the entire relationship as a whole when he became disrespectful to my family. He fought my stepdad, which I look at as a second father figure in my life. I'm not saying all of the other things are tolerable, but that right there was a definite no-no. I put him out because it was originally my apartment that I welcomed him to live in to begin with. And within the next few months, I moved out and into my new home. I chose to keep my home location private from him because I feel that he has no reason to come to my house until our daughter is born. Eventually, it got to the point where we talk often and see each other out occasionally because we both agreed that a mutual friendship would be great for the sake of our daughter. He does express to me that he wants to be together as a family, but I don't trust him anymore, so that's a definite no. But here's where the problem lies. Okay, you're just making noise. Close that door. But here's where the problem lies. My mother is very overprotective and sometimes a bit controlling, and especially when it comes to me dealing with him. She hates him with every bit of her and says that she is going to curse him and do very mean things to him every time she comes in contact with him because of the things that he's done in our past relationship. And I completely get it. What mother wouldn't? I wouldn't like him if I were her. Shit, I don't like him now. She and everyone else around me, and even some of his friends, look at him as if he's the devil. At times, so do I. My mother doesn't know my strength, and she thinks that I'm going to welcome him back in and allow him to ruin me. She'll ask me questions regarding him, like, have I seen him lately or spoken to him lately? I am grown and have been living on my own since 18, so I feel no need to lie to my mom when she asks me these things, so I don't. When I answer honestly, she gets highly upset every time and lashes out on me and won't talk to me for days sometimes. It's come to the point where I've decided to not answer when she asks or not share any little thing about him that may come up to her. She even says that if he comes over to my house after I have the baby and she finds out that he stayed overnight to help with her, she won't step foot in my home or talk to me anymore. That's mad petty. Okay. I stress him staying overnight because I don't want my daughter out of my presence or house in her first few months of her life. I'm going to need his help. He's the father. He should be there to help, and I still want them to be able to bond at the same time. Honestly, even though we aren't together, I don't want him to miss out on every little moment he could have with his daughter. She's gone months without speaking to me before, so I know she means it. She's quick to say that whatever I need for my daughter, or if I need time to myself, she'll be more than willing to help as a good mother/grandmother would. But sometimes it seems as if she's trying to take his place as her father. It's like she wants to control my house, in which I pay all of my own bills, and how I deal with him, and even the baby shower. We decided to have separate baby showers because of how much my mother hates him. And I would be so hurt if she didn't come because he's there. And she acts this way because she's scared that I'll take him back. But it's not about that. I'm over our relationship. Why can't she be? What she doesn't realize is that we are having a baby together. Doesn't mean we have to be together. And that is so right. In that order, boo. Like, in that order. He may not have been shit as a fiance to me, but he may be a great father to his daughter, and she doesn't see it that way. It kills me because my mom is a great person. She loves me, has my best interests, and she means well. It's no question that he doesn't, but he may have his daughter's best interest. Either I listen to her and sweep him under the rug of being a father to the best of his ability to his daughter, or I handle it how I think I should handle it and lose my mom's support. It's a stressful situation. What do I do? P.S. She doesn't think that I should not let him be a father in her life. However, she just wants to put limits on how much and what I should allow him to do. I love watching your videos. You are such a character. I hope you made it this far in my email without getting irritated. LOL. Okay, so this situation is kind of like a monster-in-law, even though you guys aren't getting married. I feel like as her daughter, you have to put those limitations on how much say she has in your relationship with your baby father and how much say she has in the relationship he has with your daughter. At the end of the day, little girls and little boys need their fathers. You know what I mean? It's not something that you can put a limitation on. If he wants to see her every day, he should be able to see her every day. Your mother didn't lay down in the bed with you to make the baby, so therefore she has no say. I don't think it's fair that she's being petty and making you choose basically between the two of them. It's like, how can she not want him to stay over, knowing how hard it is to be a mom, because she's been a mom before. I don't know what the situation is with your father, but you said you have a stepfather actually, which means that the relationship with your mother and your original father, LOL, the relationship with your mother and your biological father obviously didn't work out. And if you have a great relationship with your father, then you know what it means to have a relationship, period, with your father, and that's why you would want that for your daughter. And if you feel as though your baby father is going to be a great dad, then you need to let him, and you can't let your mom get in between that. It's none of her business whether he sleeps over or not. If you guys are, even if you guys are fucking, it's none of her business. Like, she can't be in the middle of that, and she can't be making decisions for her granddaughter in regards to that. If he's a good dad, then he's a good dad. You know, he may not have been a good boyfriend or fiance or whatever, but if he's going to be a good dad, then that's the bottom line. And she can't get in between that. As a parent, you have to make the decision that is best for your child. Of course, the grandmother is going to want to have a say, but at the end of the day, it's not her kid. You know, you're her kid, but your baby is not going to be her kid. I don't think she should be dangling that over your head and like withdrawing the support, and maybe she'll change once she gets here, but you have to just express to your mom that, look, I know what I'm doing. He's going to be in her life whether you like it or not. We made a kid together. It may not be how you wanted it to be, but this is how it is. And we're going to have to work through that. You can't try to prevent him from being in my life or her life, because we're going to be, as long as all three of us are alive, you know, we're going to be tied together. So you might as well get used to it and get over it. When you make your bed, you have to lay in it. Like, you can't just, you know, shun him or push him out because of all the things that he's done. At the end of the day, you guys have a baby on the way, and once your baby gets here, it's going to be a whole different ball game, and you're going to need as much support as you can get. If your mom decides that she's not going to help you out with that, well, at least he will be there. If he's going to be supportive, then you should let him. I don't have that relationship with my father, so I know what it would mean to me to have a relationship with my father if my father was a decent guy. But because he's not, I don't care to. And so you don't want your daughter to grow up with that void and that resentment. You don't want your daughter to grow up that way, and you don't want your daughter to resent your grandmother for separating or making you choose between her dad and her. But you also don't want it to be a case of where, because a lot of grandmothers will do this, will talk slick about the baby father. Once the baby's old enough to understand, they'll say mean things and put bugs basically in the child's head about their father and make the child hate the dad. You don't want that either, and so you have to be really careful who you keep around your kid. Not saying your mom is some evil witch and wants to do that, but you've already told me that she's saying the mean things she wants to do to your baby father, which is not acceptable. People are humans, people make mistakes, and we have to learn to forgive. Not necessarily forget, but we do need to learn to forgive. So at the end of the day, your mom and you did not make a baby. Y'all did not procreate. That would be weird, okay? And it's impossible. So she needs to step back, and you just really have to have a conversation with her and let her know it's not going down like that. Like, so sorry about it, mom. See you never. I know you don't want to say see you never to your mom, but I'm just saying. Hey Bo, I'm going to try to make this as short as possible. So, I'm 20 years old, and I've been in a relationship with this guy for 6 years. We met in middle school. And I didn't have any sex within our first 2 years. I didn't lose my virginity to him though. Throughout the years of our relationship, he's cheated on me a few times. The cheating has stopped, to my knowledge. But to this day, he does have a problem with constantly talking or flirting with other females online. You guys, should I continue, or am I going to get pissed today? I have a drink today, so you know what? I'm going to keep reading. Throughout the relationship, I've been nothing but faithful to him. The only time I slipped up was when we broke up during our first year together. I fucked around and lost my virginity to this fuck nigga. My boyfriend ended up finding out, and to this day still holds it against me and says that that is one of the reasons why he's cheated on me. Oh God, my blood. My blood is boiling. This past summer, after I lost my mother, who I didn't have a great relationship with, and my grandmother, I decided to pack all my shit and go to school 7 hours away just so I could get away and kind of start over. Prior to me making that decision, I would constantly tell him I was ready to take the next step and move in together. Mind you, I've been out of high school for 3 years. But he would always tell me no, and that he wanted to do things the right way, whatever that means. He has no job and didn't graduate high school. He didn't want me to go, but I felt like I just had to get away. He would never let me go out or have any kinds of friends, which I feel like has had a toll on me now because I'm lonely as fuck. About 3 weeks ago, out of nowhere, he decided that he didn't want me to have any type of social media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I told him that I didn't want to delete anything because those are my outlets and I need it because I started back my YouTube channel. He told me there's no need for my YouTube because it's never going to go anywhere, and that is stupid. He also said a lot of other hurtful stuff. In a way, I just feel like he's being selfish because I've been nothing but faithful and I don't post any inappropriate pictures. Bo, I know he loves me. I just know it. This ain't love, boo. This ain't love. And I really, really love him too. But the shit he said just shut me all the way down. Since I've tried and tried to talk to him, but he says don't hit him up unless they are deleted. He just sounds like a controlling fuckface. Like, I dare somebody that I'm in a relationship with to tell me that I can't have social media or I can't do this and I can't do that. Bitch, I will be so far out the door, like, they will never see me. SeeYouNever.com. Like, that's my website. What's up? Like, I would never ever be in a relationship with somebody that's trying to control me because I cannot be controlled. I can't even be tamed. Like, don't ever in your life think that you can tell me what to do and I'm gonna jump. I do what I want to do when I want to do it, and if you have a problem with that, then you're dating the wrong bitch. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me continue. 3 days ago, I decided I would delete them. Good God. No. That's some weak ass shit. Instead of deleting them, you should believe that ass and leave that ass, okay? If he's gonna try to control what you're doing, you know, on social media, he's gonna try to control what you're doing in your everyday life, and that is never healthy. You should never be in a relationship with somebody that's controlling you or trying to control your every move. From he's telling you can't have friends and you're feeling lonely, why would you trade that in for a fuckboy? Like, he's clearly a fuckboy. Why are you trading that in for that? Like, you know what I mean? Why are you wasting your energy on him? Why? You don't even have an answer. I told him the only way I do it is if we do it together, face to face, and he moves in with me. Why do you want to move in with him? You told me he does not have a job. You told me that. You told me he's a broke pocket ass nigga, so why are you trying to move in with him? Which part of this makes sense? Like, this is why I get mad, you guys. This is why I get mad. But like I said, I got a drink, so I'm chilling. But I think he's lying, and he completely shut down the idea of us deleting them together. He snapped and told me I was single until I deleted them. Nope. Nope. Matter of fact, yup, you know what? You single. I always felt like I loved him more than he ever has loved me, and he's taken away my teenage years. Do you think I should delete everything? Do you think if I do decide to delete everything, then we can go back to normal? Or do you think I should say fuck it and fuck him altogether? What would you do? Can you ask Shooter for his opinion? No. No. Shooter would tell you exactly what I'm fucking telling you. You should have been left his ass. Because why is he trying to control you? You think Shooter fucking tries to control me? You think Shooter tries to tell me I can't have social media? No. You see how many YouTube videos I have. You see how many pictures I post online. If I want to post in a fucking bikini, bitch, I will. Nobody's going to tell me what I can and cannot do. Understand that. And you shouldn't be allowing anybody that's not your mommy or your daddy to be telling you what you can do. If you're posting stuff online, it's not hurting anybody, then he shouldn't care what you're posting online. He shouldn't be able to tell you can't have friends. He shouldn't be able to tell you that you can't have social media. He shouldn't be able to tell you can't do anything. If you want to do something, you do it. No man is going to run you. You understand me? No man is going to run me. No man is going to run you. It is what it is. If he can't get jiggy with it, then he needs to bounce. Like, if he told you that you're single until you delete it, bitch, don't delete it. Keep it. And be single and find somebody that will love you for real, because he does not love you. And I'm not saying this so that your feelings are hurt. I'm letting you know that it's clear and evident that he does not love you. Love is not controlling. Love is patient and love is kind. And if he ain't patient and kind with you and he's freaking out because you're fucking saying that you want to delete stuff in person and blah, 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 do not give in to these idiots. Like, you've known him for however long. He knows what kind of person you are. He's trying to say that the reason that he's cheated on you is because you guys were broken up and you lost your virginity to someone else years ago. Really? And this is who you want to be with. And you're telling me that he's basically a bum-ass nigga and you want to move in with him? No. The answer is no. That's it. There's no real advice I can give to you right now other than the fact that if he's already told you you're single, don't delete your shit. Keep your shit and be single and wait until somebody real, somebody genuine, somebody caring and loving is actually going to come into your life and love you the way you're supposed to be loved. Because right now, the guy you're with, he ain't the tea. This is the tea though. Hey boy, I like to be anonymous. I love watching your story times, makeup tutorials, and also your Botox for the amazing advice that you give. Thank you. I've been having troubles in life, and I decided to email you to get personal advice. 2 weeks ago, I was really depressed and not inspired to do anything. On top of that, my father had told me that he basically cheated on my mom and that I have a little brother. Oh, hell no, honey. Oh, hell no. I know that it's healthy to talk about my problems, but I'm a person who doesn't really open up, and I like to keep my problems to myself and solve them myself. And because of that, I became even more sad. 2 weeks later, even though life feels like shit, I'm somewhat okay, but the thought that my dad cheated on my mom makes me sick, especially because they're still together, and I guess he still lives at my house, but I rarely see him. I probably see him twice a week, and he says I rarely see him because he's working, which I know is a lie. My mom is always working and is miserable and upset most of the time because bills are high and my father is rarely around. I feel betrayed by my dad, and I am building up a lot of hatred for him. There's a lot of daddy issues this week, y'all. And my mom barely shows me love or attention and says that I'm lucky she's still around and I feel alone. I do pretty much everything on my own, and although it benefits me because I am 15 and probably more independent than other people my age, I wish I had the support and help from my parents. I don't like talking about my own problems with my friends, so it seems like my life is perfect, and although I try to stay positive, I really want to burst out crying. So what are some things I can do to keep me sane and some tips on how I can cope with my issues? If you get to this email, thanks for spending the time to read it. XOXO, have a good Christmas. Thanks, babe. I think the most unhealthy thing you could possibly be doing right now is keeping this shit inside you. Yes, you told me, but you just told me that you don't like to discuss your life because you want it to appear perfect, or it makes you appear perfect. I feel like you need to tell your friends what's going on in your life. Find the person that's closest to you and let them just give them an earful. And even if they're not giving you feedback, it'll still feel good to get it off your chest and have somebody that genuinely loves you as a person to just listen to how you're feeling. If you don't feel comfortable telling anybody anything, you need to get a journal and write down your thoughts, feelings, emotions. Write down what you ate today. Like, you need to just write everything down and get it out of your system, because bottling it up inside is only going to cause you to rupture, and you don't want to rupture, I promise. When it comes to your dad cheating on your mom, you didn't really ask me any advice on that. You didn't ask me like if you should tell her, but I have a feeling your mom knows just because she's miserable and stuff, and you think it's because bills and stuff, but she probably has a feeling that your father isn't faithful and she doesn't know what to do about it, because adding a divorce to the mix is always expensive and breaking up the family is always a sad, tragic time. Don't be too hard on your mom right now for not giving you any attention and you know, not being as motherly as you need her to be, because she's going through a lot. And to even if she doesn't know that your father's cheating on her and that there's a baby involved, to add that to the mix would probably destroy her. You're gonna be angry, you're gonna be frustrated, you're not gonna understand everything, but the more you write it out and the more you discuss it, the better you will definitely feel. I'm sure even once you wrote to me about it, you probably felt a little bit lighter because you were able to tell somebody how you're feeling and you're able to let somebody else know what you're going through. So I want you to just hang in there and keep doing your thing. Don't worry too much about your parent situation. Just try to focus on you. Don't let your family situation ruin you as a person. Take it and learn from it and try to make the best out of it. I know you're like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to make the best out of something like this? But you have to figure something out. You can't just sit there and feel sorry for yourself or sorry for your family. If you want to talk to your mom about it, then talk to your mom about it. I would. Okay, like, if I found some shit out like that, I fucking would. So a lot of people wouldn't know what to do until they're in those shoes. And a lot of y'all sent me some shit that I'm just like, how the hell am I supposed to advise you guys? I haven't dealt with that before. But I just don't want you to take on that burden, because you're not your father, and you're not making the mistakes he's making. He basically, I'm not sure why he would tell you something like that, especially at the age you're at. I don't know why. I think maybe he's just feeling guilty and needed somebody to tell, but maybe you should talk to him. I don't know why that took me so long to figure out. You should talk to your dad about the situation and really get to understand more and see if your mom knows. Like, get to the bottom of it, and it may put you at peace. You can even tell him that if she doesn't know, then you guys need to talk to her and let her know and see what happens from here. That's probably the only way you're going to be able to solve this mess. It's obviously really devastating for you, and I wish you all the best. Like, oh gosh, this year has been crazy for a lot of people. I had a really good year, you guys, but I had a really crazy year as well. And I had a really crazy couple of years, actually. And just pray that for 2017, everything will look up and be better for you. And I will keep you in my prayers as well. Hi, Bo. Love your channel. Been subscribed since 25K. My problem is I've been with this guy for nearly 4 months. At first, the relationship was perfect. When I got kicked out, he let me live with him. I met his family, he met mine. We all got along so well. My mom died, by the way, so I live with my grandmother. She wants me to be with him so bad, as she sees him to be a good Christian boy. Lord, honey, those are the worst. Okay, no shade, no tea. My 4 best friends love him also at the start of the relationship. My problem is every time we get into an argument, he gets violent. We are both 16, by the way. A couple days ago, I slept at his house. He then refused to let me on his phone, which never happens. We are always on each other's phones. Then he pushed me off the bed. I tried to get back on, and he kicked me in my eye. My eye was completely red and watery. On other occasions, he slapped me and punched me across the face. Pushed me into his door several times and kicked me whilst being on the floor. Bo, I really, really love him. And at first I wanted to deal with this because I felt like this is a part of his nature. What? My friends tell me he's made me an angry person and everything. Should I still be with him? Words cannot explain how much I love him, to be honest. Apart from the hitting, he makes me so fucking happy, buys me what I want, takes me on dates, and visits me nearly every day. Please advise me. I honestly see you as a mother figure, and you're exactly like her, and so wise. You always keep it 100. Honey, really? Really? This is what you emailed me? Like, you just told me. You just told me that this man, this boy, because he's not even a man yet, you just told me at 16 that your boyfriend is abusing the fuck out of you. And then you have the nerve to ask me if you should stay with him. Do you think I would be in a relationship with somebody that was hitting me on a regular basis at that? Like, hit me once and I'm fucking out the door. Hit me twice and, like, I'm fucking your shit up. Like, literally. What are you asking me right now? No, no, and no. You do not want to be in a relationship with somebody that's abusing you. Like, what the hell? At 16? Only, like, are you okay? Are you okay? I really need to know. From he hit you the first time, you should have been out the mother effing door. And now that he's continuing to hit you, he's kicking you in your face, he's punching and slapping you in your face, and you want to stay with him? And you want to tell me that you really, really love him? No, that is not love. And you may be very confused, and I don't know why, but anybody that puts their hands on you is not worth it. Not worth your time. Because anybody that's putting their hands on you at 16, if you were to stay with this person for the rest of your life, he will definitely kill you, whether it's on purpose or by accident. So understand that. And don't be in a cycle and be in a situation where you're constantly in relationships with people that are abusing you, because you've started out really early. Really fucking early. You're young, I get it, but never okay. It's never okay. Ever.com. So no, you need to leave him immediately. Hey Bougie, I love you so much, girl. You are my favorite YouTuber. Oh, thanks, babe. So, first I want to start by saying I'm 19. I'm dating a guy significantly older than me. I'm afraid to say his age because I don't want you to be disappointed, but he's 34. 19 and 34. Pardon me? We started talking one day pretty randomly and actually met online. Ciao. Of course, after several catfish tests, I said whatever, and we met up through this period we've been spending together, which is now 2 months. We have fallen in love with each other. I'm concerned about any 34-year-old man that wants to date a child that is not even 20. Like, you're 19. I'm concerned, but whatever. He has a daughter who is 12. Honey. What? You're 19. His pick-me is 12. Are you telling me you want to be a stepmom to a 12-year-old? Is that normal? You're 19. You're old enough to be her older sister. He's old enough to be your papa. Like, what are you telling me? She is beautiful, and I think she's great. She's not my issue. It's not my place to have an issue, and if I did, I wouldn't be with him. No man should ever choose a woman over his daughter, and I won't be that woman that allows it, just to be clear. My issue is telling my mom, who I'm very close with, about this man. I am extremely nervous and almost scared. I know I'm grown, but I'm still young and I need advice. You ain't grown. At 19, I was not grown. There is no such thing as grown at 19. You think you're grown, but you're not. And I'm not grown now. So I always say I'm grown, but I know the fuck I'm not grown. I know. I still have a lot of growing to do. So I feel like nobody's ever truly grown. Everybody's always constantly growing, and so I don't feel as though I'm grown now. Like, I'll say I'm grown, but I know that I'm still growing, so I'm just repeating myself because I'm off the shits. Like, basically what I'm trying to say is he's way too old for you, but some girls like older men, and people will disagree with what I have to say, but I don't give a fuck. No 34-year-old man should be dating a 19-year-old girl. You guys are not in the same headspace at all. You guys have nothing in common. Like, no. He has a child, you don't. Not to mention, it's not like he's a newborn. He has a 12-year-old, which means he's seasoned. He's extremely seasoned. He's seen things that you have not seen. Can you learn from him? Yes. But the fact that you're afraid to tell your mother says a lot. If you were 24 and he was 34, I would say, okay, cool. You know, it's a 10-year difference, but at least you're more of an adult. For me, when you turn 19, I feel like you're just moving into adulthood, but you're still not college age, you know what I mean? Like, you're still learning about yourself. Like, you don't know everything about yourself yet. And for you to be dating somebody that old, not only that old, but that old that has a child that is 12 is insane. Absolutely insane. If you think that this is going to be the guy you're going to be with the rest of your life and you want to date him, then that's your business. But you can't hide it from your mom. If you are saying you and your mom are super close, then she'll be understanding. If you feel it's a thing where you don't think that she'll be accepting of him, but you're grown, so you want to make your own decisions, then do that. But your mom is going to be the first person to say, I told you so. You have to be really careful when dating older men because they're ready to do things that you might not be ready to do. And I'm not saying that that's your man, but I'm saying that that's a possibility. You know what you're ready for, and I can't tell you different. Your mom can't tell you different. If your mom disagrees, she disagrees. But maybe you and this guy will be together for umpteen years, and you know, you guys will carry on and live a happy life together. But do you really want to have, say you do marry this guy, do you really want to have a stepdaughter that's more than half your age? I don't know. You're literally old enough to be her sister. Like, that's crazy. When it comes to relationships with our mothers like to put their say in everything that we do, which is fine because they're our moms. But if you feel as though you're grown, and do what you want to do. Like, I can't tell you I can say anything I want to say. I can tell you I think you're wrong. I think you shouldn't be dating this guy. I can tell you the opposite. I can say it's your life. Do what you want. But at the end of the day, I'm not dating him. It has nothing to do with me. And if that's what you have chosen to do, then that's what you choose to do. It's not really my business. You make it my business, but like at the end of the day, I don't make these decisions for you guys, and so I just tell you what I think. Usually when I feel as though my mom won't agree with something, I'm hesitant to tell her as well, because it's your mom, and ultimately everybody wants anybody that's close with their mom at least wants their mother's approval in certain things. And so if you don't feel like you're going to get her approval, of course you're going to be hesitant to tell her. But eventually, it's been 2 months already, you're saying you're in love with him. Eventually, you know, you're going to have to break the news to her, so you might as well just get it out the way. There's no point in hiding it, especially if you feel like you're really going to build with this person. I personally wouldn't date a 34-year-old at 19, but that's just me, so that's irrelevant. Anyway, you guys, that was the last one. Bitches is tired. Bitches is drunk. If you do want to participate in Botox, please send me an email to botalks@gmail.com, and hopefully you'll make it onto the segment. If not, well, I don't know. But this is the second last video for the year. I'm going to try my hardest. This might be the last video, but like I'm going to try my hardest to do a New Year's makeup tutorial for you guys today. So I'm going to stay up all night, edit this video, and make sure that it's up so that tomorrow morning I can film a makeup tutorial so that y'all can have a look for the new year, okay? I do really love you all, and this year has been great. You guys have been my rock, okay? Like literally, this has been one of the greatest years of my life, and I couldn't thank you guys more. I'm glad you guys got to be a part of it, whether you just subscribed today or whether you were subscribed all months ago or years ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter when you subscribe. The point is that I love you all, and I always will. And I'm so ready for 2017. So God willing, I don't get too turned up on New Year's, honey, but probably are. Or I probably will, whatever. Anyway, you guys, I will definitely see you in the next one.